Hi, I'm Karan, and imagine you being in this situation that when you look at your back, you see a bump that looks like an insect bite. So, what are you thinking in your mind? Well, you would basically think that, nah, no worries, it will just heal over time. But instead, what happens is that the rash that is on your back grows up into a bullseye that used to be 6 inches wide. Now, it would turn out that you would have Lyme disease. Now, where is this disease found? Why do they happen like that? Why do they increase and why? And all those questions that you have up in your mind, we'll answer them in the video. So let's move on to the video to understand the whole concept of arachnida and the whole idea of it. So as we mentioned, we'll be talking about arachnida, and like we said before, that the bite that you have on your back is actually caused by some disease which is known as Lyme disease. Now, how they are basically caused? Well, they are basically caused by bacteria that is carried and spread by a tiny arachnida called deer tick. Okay, so this is how Lyme disease can actually occur. Now, if you want to prevent yourself, and if you're still confused what deer tick is, let's go ahead and learn what deer tick is. Well, deer ticks are basically chelicerates and arthropods without mandibles. Okay, so let me just write it down. Here, I'm going to use different markers here. This is getting low on ink. So, deer ticks are basically chelicerates that are, shouldn't make an arrow, that are arthropods without okay, so if you're still confused of what chelicerate means, okay, and even though some people might get it, I want to explain for those people who still don't understand what deer ticks are. Well, basically it's a chelicerates, and in the chelicerate there are arthropods without mandibles. Okay, so what exactly is chelicerates? Well, chelicerates are basically arthropods that have lack of antenna that goes from their mouth for their senses to smell something, and have 6 pairs of appendages, which include 4 pair of walking legs, 1 set of highly modified appendages from the flag-like mouth called chelicerate. Okay, it's not chelicerates, it's chelicerate. Now, which is basically used for, what they do is basically mash up the food that by using chelicerate, and basically literally shove it into hole-like mouth. So we'll see a basic diagram of arachnida, and we'll talk about that in the video, which I will show you in the visual demonstration. And also, not only that, we'll also talk about its anatomy, where the whole body parts of arachnida is located, and also, like we mentioned, chelicerates is nothing but it's basically used for the arthropods to eat something. Okay, just like we use hands to smash food and then we can put it into mouth, it's the same structure as food, but it basically, we don't need to smash our food, because we already, when we cook food, we smash it already. But since they do not cook food, they need to smash it. So this is when chelicerate plays the role. It takes the food, when they take the food, it uses chelicerates to smash up the food, and literally they have like this. Since they are smashing up their food right here, they literally shove it over here into a hole, like, which is right here, which is known as mouth. So let's go ahead and go to the video and we'll talk about its body structures. And first though, we'll basically see how arachnida, how it looks like, and take a particular example, and then we'll talk about its anatomy. So there are three main groups of chelicerates. Now the horseshoe crabs and sea spot are two of these groups. Arachnids are the third group, representing more than 80% of chelicerate species. Now, arachnids are basically such as spiny shiders, like shown in this figure right here. They're a terrestrial group of chelicerate, basically characterized by their 8 legs and fang-like pincers that inject venom, and they have ability to produce the silk, or known as web. Okay, so evidence from fossil, like they were formed nearly 400 million years old, suggested that the arachnids evolved adaptation that allowed them to conserve water and live on the land. So these people right here, arachnids, are able to conserve water and also are able to survive on land. So they basically have 4 different types of adaptation to reduce water loss in them. So the waterproof cuddle, which is an arachnid cuddle, is basically waterproof, so water cannot evaporate across the skin. Now, book lungs, some arachnids have specialized respiratory structure called book lungs that allows them to breathe air. Now, book lungs are structured to build of many thin, hollow sheets of tissue that look like a page of a book. Now, what they do is they basically provide a large surface of gas exchange, but also, not only that, they also create a very large space for water loss. Now, it only prevents the water loss. Book lungs are basically enclosed in humid chamber covered by a plate of abdominal cuddle. And like we said, cuddle is not fresh. It's not uh, protective exoskeleton, but it helps the arthropods to survive. It helps them in movement, growth, and maintaining their internal and external homeostasis. Okay, so melanpinnate tubules excretory system called malpighian tubes that allow spiders to minimize water loss while they're excreting metabolic waste. So whenever the waste is coming out, these tubes allow spider to minimize the wastage of water, since because of its skin, because it helps water not to evaporate faster. So this is the arachnid anatomy. So arachnid basically have many unique adaptation for catching and consuming prey. As you guys can see, there's a whole structure, and inner body is also shown for more clear vision. Now, as you know, all spiders, including this one, can produce venom, right? So spider can basically inject venom into their prey through uh, modify. Let me just show you right here. By using this, they can inject venom to their prey. So neurotoxic proteins paralyze the victim by attacking the central nervous system and digestive enzyme in the venom. So the whole process begins to dissolve the prey from the inside. So what happens if it were to inject the toxic into some other animal, the whole internal structure of their body would basically be dissolving inside them. It would be burning out, since it's a type of an acid. It would burn it down, okay, from inside. So they are getting weak, and so it's easy for these people to eat them, since they're losing their whole energy. Now, among North American spiders, only the black widow and brown rescue spiders have venom that can affect the human. So there's only 2 spider in North American spiders, okay? So, but many species around the world have venom that can paralyze or even kill humans, okay? So they're basically large group of very small arachnids. So some species, let's say including this one, are less than 0.25 millimeter long. Okay, less than that. So many parasites, including this one of plants and animal, basically what they do is they're basically sucking up the sap or blood through their needle-like mouth parts right here. Mouth parts. So as you guys can see, this is a poison gland right here. Now scorpions are arachnids which have huge pioneers for grabbing their prey after it's being injected with venom from stinger at the end of their tail. Now scorpion basically hunt at night by feeling the vibration made their prey move. Now, like we said, this is a spider, but if you were to take scorpion, both of them would have a different type of timing of catching their prey. Spider might catch their prey in the morning when it have light so you can see them, but since scorpion, it likes to hunt its prey down when it's night because of the feeling of the vibration when they're near scorpions, so they can easily catch them. Plus, they have this huge helpful pioneers for grabbing them after uh, injecting the toxic into them. So, like spider, they don't have any pioneers, but in scorpions they do. So you see the variations among arachnid itself. Even though it's small group, they have many different and arachnids have different structure. So this is where the whole anatomy of arachnids, in this example, this is spider. So this is how many unique adaptations for catching and consuming their prey are being used. Okay, so as you mentioned, we'll be talking about arachnida.